very latest from here at home and across the world. This is Primetime News, live on News First. A very good evening. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
A very good evening. I'm Shane Silva.
As usual, we start off with a look at your headlines.
The President says that persons who promote the concept of Elam are attempting to destroy the feelings of the people towards the motherland. The time period of scheduled power cuts extended. And the July strikers launch a protest.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that persons who promote the concept of Elam are attempting to destroy the feelings of the people towards their motherland. The President expressed this view at a function held at the Kuruvita Army Camp today.
The Colours Night of the Gamunuheva Regiment was held at the Kuruvita Army Camp this morning under the auspices of President Mahinda Rajapaksa. The President was received by Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the Army Commander Lieutenant General Jagat Jayasuriya. Just because terrorism has been eradicated, we cannot relax. There is much to do to ensure the security of the country. 40 years ago, a proposal was put forward in Kadukkode for a separate state. Recently as well, at a conference, a proposal was brought forward to give life to the Elam. Behind each of these proposals, there is a hidden agenda of establishing a separate state, an Elam. The separatists want to destroy the unity and trust between us. The true patriots of this country should not allow external or internal forces to criticize the motherland.
Convening two separate media briefings, Minister Rauf Hakim and ALM Ataullah expressed views regarding an incident which is said to have taken place in Adelaide yesterday.
It was clear that SSP Ranagala acted in a biased manner. Even when we notified them about an iftar program, SSP Ranagala and the acting YC of Akrepattu deliberately postponed granting us permission. We will submit a written complaint to the IGP in this regard. During a conversation I had with the IGP yesterday, I informed him of this. We hope that the Elections Commissioner and the IGP will take immediate action on this matter. It is a blatant lie. One cannot say that Minister Ataullah receives all the votes. He has accepted defeat. Now he is putting the blame on a policeman and is saying that he can't secure victory at the election because of their conduct. If Ranagala was not present at the location in question yesterday, all 25 of them would have been in trouble. It is not our fault. It is Minister Rauf Hakim's fault.
Meanwhile, views were expressed in this regard at a UPFA media briefing today.
We have spoken to both the parties in this regard. Such incidents have taken place in these areas in question not only during this election but throughout history. This is merely another incident. We hope that such incidents will not take place in the future.
The time period of the scheduled power cuts has been revised. Accordingly, the 2 hours and 15-minute power cut has been revised to 3 hours and 20 minutes, an increase of 1 hour and 5 minutes. Issuing a statement, the Ministry of Power and Energy noted that the scheduled power cuts will be effective until the authorities complete the repair work at the Lakwijaya power plant in Norochole. With no exact date being announced by the authorities to complete the repair work at the power plant, the strike action launched by a group of employees attached to the Ceylon Electricity Board continued for the 5th straight day today.
The 3 hours and 20 minutes power cut will be effective across 78 main cities in the island from tomorrow. According to the Ministry of Power and Energy, power cuts will be imposed under 3 phases between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. The communique issued by the ministry reiterated that the scheduled power cuts will not be imposed at night owing to the ongoing GCE advanced level examination. It went on to say that power will not be disrupted at hospitals, BOI-sponsored institutions and in the industrial zone. The ministry also noted that the Ceylon Electricity Board has decided to paralyze the Lakvijay power plant completely and recommence repair work. Meanwhile, area residents in the Ampara district staged a demonstration today. They charged that power that was disrupted at 3 last afternoon has not been restored as yet. The demonstration was organized opposite the Ampara district Ceylon Electricity Board office. A group including authorities of the Ampara General Hospital joined in the demonstration. Infants at the neonatal ward as well as patients at the ICU were severely inconvenienced. Furthermore, operations were halted as a result of the power cut. If the hospital generator gets overheated and encounter mechanical problems, patients will have to suffer. Meanwhile, authorities claim that the disruption of power at the Ampara district is an act of sabotage. Deputy Chairman of the Ceylon Electricity Board, Honorable Vijay Pala, noted that the main electricity transmission cables from Badula to Ampara has been damaged in Badula. He said that steps have been taken to restore the electricity supply in the district. Over in Bibila, area residents staged a demonstration today, charging that the power supply in the area has been disrupted since Monday night. The demonstration was organized opposite the CEB office in Bibila. Deputy Minister Vijit Vijayamuni Soisa expressed his objection of the presence of several UNP members at the demonstration. Trade unions affiliated to the CEB who are on strike bear such a view of the sudden electricity breakdowns. At present, the authorities are unable to repair the transmissions. Power supply to the eastern province has been halted completely. During the last 2 days, issues have arisen at electricity transmission towers. Putting a further strain on the electricity supply, the Ceylon Electricity Board said today that hydropower generation has been reduced to 14% owing to the low water levels in catchment areas. We cannot expect showers, but there can be intermittent showers.
In a new development, the Ceylon Electricity Board says that all employees who are on strike should report to work before noon on the 17th of August. A communique issued by the CEB bearing the signature of its general manager noted that services of individuals who fail to report to work will be taken over by the board using alternative methods. The CEB also requested skilled employees who retired after 2008 to report to the nearest divisional electrical engineers officers or power stations immediately. In related news, UNP parliamentarian Karujaya Surya also expressed views on the scheduled power cuts.
When the United National Front came to power in 2001, there were scheduled power cuts of 8 hours. The power cuts were one of the factors that led to the fall of the previous government. When we came into power, we promised that power would be supplied within 180 days. We said that if we fail, that the individual who was appointed as the Minister of Power will be removed. On the 159th day, we were able to restore the power supply. Since then, there were no power cuts of this sort until now. The present Minister of Power and Energy is helpless. He has clearly pointed out the shortcomings as well.
Well, it's time now for the newspaper cartoon of the day.
...250 days since the disappearance. A startling revelation from the Frontline Socialist Party. We have trustworthy information that they are being held in an army camp in the north. We have received reports that suggest that their lives are at risk. How far is this statement true?
The impending resignation of the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission has become a topic of much controversy. Economic analysts point out that the resignation of the head of the regulatory body sends amber signals to the business community, investors and also stakeholders. Meanwhile, the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce states that they are concerned about the statement made by Tilak Karunaratne to the media regarding his impending resignation.
Tilak Karunaratne, who took up office as the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission on the 8th of December last year, speaking to News First, said yesterday that he would step down from his position within the course of the week. In an interview with News First, he said that he was coming under immense pressure to resign on false accusations by some investors under investigation for pump and dump deals. Speaking at a media briefing in Colombo today, consultant economist Dr. Harsha De Silva expressed the following views.
The government has been accusing the SEC of leaking information and so on. Right? Now what I want to ask is, since the ERI case almost a year ago, 2011 August, the SEC has not revealed a single name of person, entity being investigated. As far as I know, I do not know. In fact, I have openly challenged the SEC to provide the names of people, name and shame, who have been accused of insider trading and market manipulation.
Properly investigate those who have done something wrong and pass proper judgment on them and penalize them at an adequate level. Now, some of the previous transactions which have been faulty have been settled at very small amounts. When they are also looking ahead to strengthen the control, strengthen the regulatory environment, network and have an open, transparent stock exchange supervised by the Securities Exchange Commission. If what is reported happens this weekend, it will be the death knell of the stock market in Sri Lanka.
Over the past 12 months alone, 2 chairpersons of the Securities and Exchange Commission have resigned from their positions. Issuing a media release, the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce notes that investors, the business community and stakeholders view this development with concern. The release adds that an effective and stable regulatory framework is critical to ensure robust and sustainable capital market which delivers long-term value to all stakeholders.
You have a regulator to prevent market failure. Market failure is when the players in a particular market together are unable to ensure an efficient market. So if the regulator fails, the regulator instituted to ensure the markets don't fail, then what is failing is the government.
Meanwhile, the Colombo bourse, which is being regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, showed positive gains today in the face of the impending resignation of the chairman of the SEC.
The leader of the new Sama Samaja Party, Dr. Vikramabaho Karunaratne, convened a media briefing in Colombo today to make clarifications on the speech he made at the Tamil Elam Supporters Organisation Summit, or TESO.
No
one asked me to stop. I wouldn't have stopped my speech. As the opposition, we will continue to take to the streets with the LLRC report in hand. We will stage successful demonstrations. I said that current rulers are able to remain in power because of the aid and assistance rendered by India. I have visited India on behalf of the country and made clear to them the situation here. I have notified them about the problems the people have to endure. I made it clear to them this was a patriotic act.